All right, I guess we clocked in. Damn, I was pretty fast. I didn't even notice that I did that. But anyway, um, ooh, that kind of caught me off guard. Hey, what's going on, party people? Now, if this is your first time here, welcome. It's definitely a great pleasure to have you here. I go by the name of Lespri. I am a spiritual healer. And essentially, as a spiritual healer, what I do pretty much is that I help you to become Christ like, to attain your highest level of consciousness. Now, in this channel here, to give is to receive, what I do is that I use what I call the power of words, to help you to enhance or to attain your highest level of consciousness. Now, when I'm talking about the power of words, what I'm referring to, it's not a meaning of a word. You know how most people tell you words are powerful? There's a lot of power in your words, and I mean, not to knock it. I mean, okay. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm really talking about here is something totally different. We're talking about how things are being said. Because when you truly think about it, all of us, the true speakers, that's why we use rhyme when we talk. We understand that, it would be easier for you to remember it. Or even if you use a certain rhymes too, it allows you to communicate somehow your message a lot quicker. Because there's a whole other aspect that comes with that. When you put your words or you speak a certain way, it's a lot more powerful. And that's what I call the power of words. And I came to understand when you're looking at poetry, quotes, proverbs, those are a lot of statements. Now they are all different respectively. However, the one thing they all have in common is that how they are being put together. So the true power of words, it isn't truly a meaning of a word, but it's how, you saying what you're saying. That's why you'll notice certain quotes could automatically, you could feel motivated by listening to certain quotes. So then now you're going to have to ask yourself, how? Well, depending on the nature of the quote in itself, you can either be inspired by it, motivated by it, or be enlightened by it. But the one thing for sure is that it will somehow get to you. So those quotes, there's certain things like it bypass your conscious mind automatically. And you truly get to enjoy the power of words because you get to experience how the words are acting on you. And that's truly the power of words. And that's what you see in those quotes, those proverbs, those, let's just say, old saying. They go by so many different ways. Because the number one thing that they do is that they bypass your conscious mind. So meaning they don't need your fucking permission. It's almost like when I do this, it's the fucking arrow. It will just creep up on you. And that's what you see sometimes when you are, let's just say, if you're reading a certain quote and then you automatically feel a certain way. And you're like, it hits you a certain way. Because what that does, it bypasses your conscious mind. It pretty much captivates your mind without, your permission. And also make you a lot more receptive now. And then now you like, oh, okay. So now you're able to dig even deeper into what's being said. So pretty much that's what I do here. And here's another thing about those quotes too, or proverbs, whatever the fuck, is that the wealth of wisdom that is pretty much locked, that is fully loaded in those messages. It's just insane. And like I always tell people, there's no shortcut. But if there is a shortcut, that would probably be your only shortcut. In terms of, because obviously it bypassed your consciousness, but also from that wealth of wisdom, you're able to learn or have the experience of, or of certain experiences that you didn't have to necessarily experience. It's almost like that wisdom gets you ready. I mean, you're still gonna have to experience the experience. I mean, that's the meaning of the experience. But you'll be more hands on as you're going through the fucking experience. So again, that goes to show you how, when we're talking about the power of words. I mean, that to me is the power of words. And not to mention, I mean, when you fully grasp certain things and how those words are truly fucking you up, it's just unbelievable. Like, I get to see when you hear people go like, "Go on, preach on, pastor." Oh, I know that's right. It's how they are reacting to that word. Now, that's the power of words. It could have been something, let's just say the pastor said, or whomever, that got you to react a certain way based on how they said it, not the meaning of an objective. I mean, not the objective meaning of a word, but how all of them are being put together, and how the beauty of it comes now. I mean, the magic, literally, the magic in it becomes when now you saying it. But anyway, so that's pretty much what we do here, and that's how we do it. And being a spiritual healer, the goal here is to help you to elevate. So, now that we know what we do here, let's get to the meat and the potatoes. Now, I got to salute whoever's coming back. If you're coming back, you know what I'm saying, welcome back. And by the way, guys, check out my other channel. We have a lot of other content, that can definitely add on some values to you, man. And that's going to make you look good out there. Because truly, as a spiritual healer, truly what I do, I'll make you look good. I help you to find your treasure, your essence, who you are. And we simply do this by holding what we called, or what the Buddhists called, the mirror of wisdom, for you to see yourself. Anyway, so let's get into it. You see the title, you already know what's up. Now, as a disclaimer, in fact, I'm glad that I'm saying this, because, those of you who knows, sometimes I always, how can I say this? You may think that, maybe I have an issue with the Bible. That's what I'm trying to say. So, I'm glad that I'm going to be talking about this, but most importantly, the disclaimer truly is that, like I always tell people, wisdom is wisdom regardless of where it comes from. The truth out of a 6 or 7 year old kid is still the truth, man. You know what I'm saying? Doesn't make it any less true because a kid said it. So I'm saying that to say, truly, when it comes down to those quotes, and if you truly fully understand how I describe the power of the words to you, I mean, how do I refrain myself from learning more, or to elevate? So that's why a lot of my quotes, they come from, some of them comes from voodoo. Others, in fact, the one that we're going to be talking about tonight is from the Bible. You know what I'm saying? I get quotes from the Sufis, the Gnostics, whoever the fuck. Doesn't matter. Because wisdom is wisdom, regardless of where it comes from. But anyway, so that was a disclaimer. So now let's get to what we're here to talk about. So now, as you guys see, you know what? Let me. I don't even remember the whole thing. Give me a second here. There you go. So unless your righteousness exceeds that of the scribes and the Pharisees, you'll never enter the kingdom of God. Oh my God. Give me a second. You know, this is. I mean, I guess once you know it, you know it. But if you don't know or understand the how deep this is, then you probably would never understand it. You're gonna have to go beyond what is being said for you to understand it. So let's get into it. Unless your righteousness exceeds that of the scribes and the Pharisees, then you'll never enter the kingdom of God. I mean, there's a whole lot of things that are being said here, guys. First of all, understand this, right? And this is the beauty too about those statements, because of the way they are structured. Now you're able to see this is Jesus telling you now, your righteousness got to be more righteous than their righteousness. So that alone, the way he even said that, I mean, don't you think righteousness is righteousness? How can you be any more righteous than being righteous? Do you see what I'm saying? So it's being said a certain way for you to really go beyond what is being said, but also for you to grasp, a lot more. I mean, the thing about the power of words too that I forgot to mention, it's like it's so magical. It talks to you in ways that if I were trying to explain something to you directly, I mean, it's not the same. That is almost like you automatically kind of get it. It's almost like somehow the wisdom was transferred from one place into your own fucking brain. You're like, oh, I got it. Those aha moments. And by the way, this is why you need to invest in those quotes. Do it for yourself. In all of them. Don't matter. Do not limit yourself. And that's also another way to cultivate wisdom in you too. What you have around you become you. So again, this is all part of self-mastery. So when you understand these things, that's why us true spiritual healers or true magician or alchemist, we understand certain things and how to elevate our mind. Because your true elevation, just like I was saying, that's why you have to open up your third eye. You do it because you're making yourself becoming more receptive to now have a lot more of those aha